Houseguests, welcome to today's Big Brother Over the Top updates and spoilers. Our house guests of the day are Madge and Stan. What's up, guys? Hope you're enjoying this season, and thanks so much for your support. If you guys want to be house guests of the day, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. So I'm sorry about all of this, but I just got back from California a few hours ago, and I'm so freaking wrecked. But anyway, I want to thank Mom for doing such a good job filling in for me the last few days. You're awesome. Yes. Okay. So now you're back with this. Okay. So yesterday they had the safety ceremony, and big surprise here. The three people that were named safe were Chrissy, Justin, and Jason. Duh. Who else is Danielle gonna save? Come on. So then Whitney goes up to the HOH to talk to Danielle, and Chrissy and Jason are also there. So Whitney just wants to get her FaceTime in before nominations. She's like, Danielle, I just felt like I should talk to you before the nominations. So then Danielle's telling her, like, you're not really on my radar. You got nothing to worry about. And Whitney's like, well, what if America puts me up? Because she's all paranoid now that she's a have-not this week. And they're telling her, like, no, the have-nots this week are not a good indicator of who America does and doesn't like. Because it's basically just the people who haven't been have-nots yet. So it's like, you haven't been a have-not yet. It's your turn. So Danielle's saying, like, even if you were to go up on the block as America's nominee, if I won the veto, I would use it on you and save you. Because she only wants to have 2 nominees up there on eviction night, her nominees. So she's planning on, you know, saving whoever America's nominee is, so she says, if she wins the veto. So then they're talking about Shelby's care package power, and as we know, that power this week is to eliminate 3 eviction votes. That is a huge deal. It's a huge deal. So Danielle and Jason are like, oh yeah, you should tell Shelby that she should cancel out your group's votes, and then we can decide for you who should stay from your group. Really? So they're like bringing up when Shane and Danielle were up on the block together, and they were like, yeah, we forced that tie so that we could leave it up to Scott, and then the pressure was off of us, and we didn't have to decide between our 2 friends. I don't think the Ball Smashers are going to go for that, but sure. So then Justin spilled some important information to Whitney yesterday in the have-not room. He was all, girl, you in danger. He lets her know you're in trouble this week because his alliance is looking to take out people who haven't received care packages yet. Obviously from the other side of the house, because they want to make their chances of getting a care package greater. So they're like, we need to take out either Morgan or Whitney because there's a good chance that one of them will get a care package next week. So then, you know, he's saying Morgan is kind of like the primary target right now, but if she were to win the veto, which is very possible, she won last week, Whitney would go up as the replacement nominee. And Whitney's like, yeah, but I think my alliance would keep me, right? Like, I should be safe. And Justin's like, don't know about that. I already know. He's saying you should not trust Alex and Scott, because if you were up there on the block with somebody like Shelby, they're going to get rid of you because you're too freaking likable, and they're not going to be able to beat you in the end when it's all down to America's vote. So he's saying they're going to keep Morgan and Shelby over you, and they're just going to be like, oh man, we just had to vote you out because we had no choice. I could totally see them saying something like that. So Whitney's like, thank you so much for telling me. They agree to keep this conversation secret. I love the friendship between Justin and Whitney. I think it's really genuine, and it's just really fun. Like, they're both hilarious, and they're hilarious together. So then last night, Scott was sharing his thoughts with us. We had a Scott monologue. His worst case scenario this week would not be like himself going up on the block. It would be Alex and Shelby going up on the block together, and he's very nervous that this is a definite possibility. So he's saying, oh my god, if that happened, Shelby has this care package power, she could cancel out my vote, which would obviously be for Alex to stay, and then Alex would go home. So he's really nervous about that. You know, he's obsessed with Alex staying in the house, and Shelby is his number 2. Even though he was all like, yeah, Morgan, you could be my left-hand woman. But no, I know it sounds gross. It's Alex, Shelby, and then Morgan. But he's feeling pretty good about his personal safety this week. He doesn't think Danielle is going to go for him or put him up on the block because she told him straight up it wouldn't be a smart move for her to target him. She doesn't like him as a person, but in the game, she doesn't see it really benefiting her. He also made a deal with Jason, and he was like, if he and Alex stay off the block, they're going to vote for Jason to stay if he's America's nominee. Because Jason is also very paranoid that he's going to be America's nominee this week. Because, you know, he saw that Shelby got the care package and those two are always like, bleh. So he's like, well, if they like her, they must freaking hate me. So he's cutting these deals with Scott and Alex to keep himself safe. And that's making Scott feel real good about it. Alright, so then this morning, Alex and Morgan were comparing notes, and they were saying, like, you know what, if it comes down to it this week and one of us girls has to go, they're saying Shelby has been saying that she wants Whitney out, and Whitney has been saying that Shelby should go, so they're just like, whatever, we're glad it's just not one of us, that's fine. So then they're going through the pros and cons of keeping Shelby versus Whitney. So they're saying, like, Whitney is definitely more of a threat. She's more likable. She's probably better in competitions than Shelby. But, you know, there's always that risk that somebody is just going to, or a lot of people are going to want to drag Shelby to the end because they feel like they can beat her in the final three. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. This morning, Danielle got the HOH camera, and there was not much picture unity in the house. She was up in that HOH room taking pictures with her people, like, woo! And then she goes downstairs in the kitchen, and she's just like, here, you can take your pictures now. Not like, take this with me. She was like, go ahead, have fun with this. That's so mean. All right. So then, back to the game. Danielle and Jason were trying to figure out who should go up this week, because it's still kind of up in the air. Danielle is still thinking she wants to target Morgan, but she's also worried at the same time that Morgan could potentially win the power of veto and stay this week, and then Morgan's going to be after her, so she's not feeling that. But Jason is saying we should definitely put Shelby up because she's got that care package power this week. If she has that, plus she's safe, it's almost going to be like she's the HOH this week. And you know Jason does not want that. So he's really trying to get Shelby up on the block. I think it's working. But they're trying to figure out, like, is this our best move? So then Danielle and Scott are chatting outside. This was really interesting and weird that these two are, like, talking game. It was strange. So Danielle's like, I want to bounce some ideas off of you. So she's asking him, like, do you think that this would be a good time to take out Whitney? Because she's liked by America and all the other house guests, and, like, Danielle's saying that her alliance really does like Whitney, but she's a huge target, and they're going to have to get rid of her eventually, and this might be the time to strike. So Scott is like, yeah, sounds good. You know, Whitney is not in his little group. So he's like, okay, let's do that. So then Jason, Alex, and Scott have a similar discussion, and they all agree, you know, it's time to take out America's sweetheart, Whitney. So then Jason is talking to Danielle about it, and they agree. It's time to take out Whitney. So they're a little bit worried that Justin's going to be pissed, because Justin is very close with Whitney, and they don't want to lose him over this situation. But they're saying Justin's vote is probably going to be canceled out anyway this week by Shelby, so they don't care. Alright, so then Jason kind of breaks the news to Justin. He's like, yeah, so Whitney may be going up this week. And Justin is just like, what the F? He's already down for being on slop. He can't enjoy his pizza. And now Whitney could be going up on the block? What the hell is that? So he's like, well, if I win the POV, can I use it on her? Aww. And Jason's like, yes. And then Morgan will go. Jason wasn't, like, really upfront about Whitney being the primary target. So then Justin was saying, like, we need to split up Alex and Scott. Like, why are we going after one of these girls when we could split up Alex and Scott? And Jason's like, well, I kind of need them this week, you know, because he did make that deal with them, and he's worried that he's going to be America's nominee. So he's like, let's roll with them this week, and we'll split them up next time. I don't know. I would be pretty skeeved out. But then Justin, again, lets Whitney know about the Late Night Jamboree's new plan. Uh-oh! Girl, you're in trouble. So then it's time for Safety Ceremony Part 2. The order that they were saved. That sounds like a religious thing, like they were saved. Scott, Morgan, and Alex, which means that Whitney and Shelby have been nominated for eviction. So Danielle joins the rest of the house guests, and she's like, yeah, I feel like I don't really have a lot of power this week, so I gotta do what I gotta do to keep myself safe. Shane. Alright, so tomorrow we're gonna find out who America's nominee is, and we're gonna see the Power Veto competition. Should be exciting. Let me know in the comments who you guys are voting for America's nominee. And are you sad that Whitney's in Target? I'm like kind of sad right now. I hope she's going to be able to pull out a POV win or something. But let me know what you guys think. And until tomorrow, much love.